Sibley. She's been a member since February of 2018. She loves to help businesses get organized, stay organized, and have timely and accurate financial information available to assist them with running of their business. She offers QuickBooks setup and training, financial analysis, audits, payroll, inventory tracking, monthly, quarterly services, and file prep for year-end tax filing. Maria, take it away.
And that was my spiel, so that was great. Absolutely. It's funny, actually. She texted me last night and asked me if I was ready for today, and I was like, absolutely not. I had originally kind of planned on doing a nice little presentation, PowerPoint, and I was testing it out on my niece and her boyfriend. And about 12 seconds into it, the eyes started rolling into the back of the head, and then the heads kind of started going like this. And I said, okay, well, obviously that's boring. We're not doing that. So I thought instead what I would do is just tell you what I do and give you some examples of what I've done for clients this year. Bookkeeping, you either, as a small business owner, you either love it or don't mind it and just do it because it's just like your normal personal bookkeeping, or you absolutely hate it with a passion, that it just gets ignored, which means that you're going for all of that time without knowing where your business stands. Yesterday I got a call from a potential client who admitted that he doesn't do anything for the whole year, files an extension, pays for the extension, and then gets angry because he's having to clean up an entire year to get to his CPA, so the CPA can finish cleaning it up in the file, and then pay a penalty for everything because he doesn't do quarterlies, like there's nothing that's organized. And so we were chatting because I said, so obviously the goal is to bring me in and clean up your mess. And he said, yeah, absolutely. And then we kind of talked about after that whether or not he would want to keep me on and in what capacity. And it's funny because even though he admits to paying penalties and admits to paying for extensions, he was very initially resistant to potentially keeping me on a monthly basis to make sure that everything's done. And I mean, literally by the middle of January, he could submit his return, his file. So we kind of talked about the pros and cons and the cost benefits. And pretty much after we're meeting this week, not only will I be cleaning up, but he will be keeping me on to do that because it's going to save him money in the long run. So that was cool. I had another client that I brought on more to do some consulting. They have a bookkeeper, but it's a construction business, and she just needed some training and kind of support on how to manage certain things, and she took over from another bookkeeper that's been doing this company's books for about 1.5 years. And we worked on some basics, and then as we're getting into it, realized that the company itself might need to refile their taxes because their tax returns were filed in such a way that even though they had a tremendous amount of business last year, it's not reflected in their financial statements. Like everything was pushed off for deferral. And in the process of doing all of these audits, I also helped them find that they made a double payment of almost 10 grand to a vendor last year that they would have never known that they had done. Help them set up, because it's construction, help them set up using purchase orders within their system. So again, for small business owners, you're like, whatever that is. But really that's just saying, hey, I need to order 12 computers from you, and this is my commitment to do that so that you can kind of track your upcoming expenses. Let's see what else. Chris Parks, one of the lawyers of this group, brought me in to help clean up his business, and to, I found some inconsistencies with how certain things were being done kind of over the year, and did some training with his staff to make sure that those inconsistencies stopped and that everything's going great.
So fraud, he is a lawyer. I said fraud, he is a lawyer.
I think, it's funny because most people use QuickBooks. Who in here doesn't use QuickBooks to manage their business?
I don't manage it.
Right. But Who uses Excel spreadsheets? Who just lets it, doesn't manage it?
I write it in
Come
the
on,
book,
raise your hand.
but procrastinate as much as I can.
QuickBooks is like the go-to small business program for businesses. Partly because it has definitely gotten much better over the years. It's more intuitive than Intuit, and easier to use. With that being said, people that don't like doing finances, they're not going to take the time to even try to utilize QuickBooks for what it can do for them. So one of the things that you could bring me in to do is set up your books in QuickBooks and train you to do that, and then, you know, just kind of audit you on a whether it's monthly or quarterly, because some people, they don't really meet me every month, quarterly basis, just to kind of make sure that, you know, things are in line. There obviously is support for questions on how to track things, but a lot of small businesses, as long as they're set up properly and you take a little time to get trained, it's really easy to do on your own. Yeah. So, yeah, that's exciting. Financial analysis. I geek out over numbers, guys. That's why I do what I do. And I love being able to review the financial business health on a periodic basis. Had another client that it was the first time he's ever, in 5 years of owning his business, it's the first time he's ever had somebody that actually insisted on doing that with him. And to go through and do comparison over the prior year and to understand where the business is and to be able to explain why sales are down, profits down for, like, you know, you paid off a lot of debt, even with all of that. So that was exciting. It's kind of cool when people get excited about doing something they haven't done with their business. But really, it's about supporting you to make sure that you are comfortable with the finances in your business and helping to give you support in even making business decisions based on what your financial situation is. And that's it. It's boring. I geek out on numbers, but it's boring. So, yes.
Complete ballpark, but what does it cost a business to have a bookkeeper like you on a monthly basis? Completely ballpark.
So, depends on the business. But I would say anywhere between $150 and $250.
So very reasonable.
So I think it's reasonable considering that you're probably paying a CPA $150 plus to do that would kind of work. So yes.
Well, I mean, it pays for itself. So we've been working with someone for years, and otherwise, you know, if I knew the value and I didn't have anybody, you know, I work with you, we've had conversations before, but to be able to, like, the value of only spending, you know, even $300 to be able to look to see how we spend money in all the different categories, personally, we, like, sit down monthly, we're able to, like, look in each category. It's broken down to coffees. I mean, it's like we went a little nuts, but we're able to really see how much we spend and adjust it. So you could even have your bookkeeper paid for if you have her, or, you know, if you have Maria set it up in a way that you can see, move, and manage it, and then just take things out that we spend, like, without even realizing what we're spending.
I actually had a client that to that point, that I did an analysis and said you could afford me if you put yourself on a $50 a month coffee budget. I actually had
Well,
that.
you're free if they do that.
Yeah.
Like, if someone shifts enough that doesn't even make a difference in their life, you don't cost anything, and they get to manage their life
But they
better.
don't have their coffee.
No, you make it from home. There it is. That's the latte factor.
even
I
possible.
know,
You guys
right?
go
I just want smoothies, but.
Yeah.
It's not even, for us, it's not even coffee. It's, oh my goodness, we spent, you know, $800 in Whole Foods, and we still spent the same amount of money that we always spend in like, King Super. Like, and just to look at how much we spend in food, and then what we go out for dinner, and then what we, you know, it's mind-boggling when you really start to examine the numbers. It's so easy to shift because there's so much waste in there.
Do you do personal finances?
Go ahead.
So that 150, 250, is that for just monthly oversight, or is that like they give you all the receipts and you're inputting everything?
Yeah, so that would be me doing inputting, reconciliation at the end of the month of all of the accounts, not just bank.
And does that include like payroll, or is that like an add-on?
It depends on the business, so it's hard. I mean, I have one client that I basically just charge a flat kind of $150 a month for because it only takes, it doesn't take very long to do all the reconciliations, and then I run their payroll for them as well, and I file all their sales tax. So, but it depends on how involved each business is as to how much time and what they need, But I don't. There are a lot of bookkeepers out there that'll charge an hourly rate, and then they charge a flat rate for doing your payroll, a flat rate for doing your sales tax, and a flat rate for doing this. I don't do that because, to be honest, I think you're getting gypped. If it takes me 10 minutes to process your payroll and I'm charging you $50 to do it, I think that's just ridiculous for you. So
integrity.
So I just build it into an average after I charge hourly initially so that I understand really what you need. And since most of the clients I'm bringing on are project clients to clean them up for last year, what have you, after that, figure out exactly what you are going to expect of me. And I do that, and after a couple of months, I figure out what the average is between meetings and phone calls and doing the actual, data entry and processing. And then I just come up with a fixed fee every month because, we can all budget that way. Yeah. Yes?
Do you prefer to have the standalone or the online that you use?
So online is amazingly convenient so that I'm not necessarily having to go to people's offices. So I'm a huge advocate for that standpoint. But wow, is that an annoying system. I mean, if I had my preference, I would just do everything on desktop because desktop there's so much more you can do. It's more, anyway. But QuickBooks Online is great, especially for small businesses that don't have a lot of intricate things happening, like it's pretty simple. And I can even remotely help them because we can both log in at the same time and kind of do some trainings.
Yeah, because I have no employees. All I do on a monthly basis is the P&L, the balance sheet, and the reconciliation. That's all I do. Is that enough?
Well, yeah, because if you're reconciling your accounts, you're ensuring everything is in the right place, and then you're running your profit and loss and your balance sheet to make sure that that they're in line. I mean, that's really the audit form, right? Is that you're looking at your profit and loss, and I typically will pull like 3 months running, so you can kind of see the trends over a 3-month period on a monthly basis, and catch some of those, some of those slightly skewed things, or ask questions. So, but yes, that's probably just enough.
So how do you reconcile with bank accounts? Do you get your PDF bank accounts emailed to you, or statements, or how does that work?
Yes, so I request the statements at the end of every month, and then I just go in and make sure that, when I reconcile to what's there. And different clients like to do different things, especially with so the cool thing about QuickBooks Online, if you've never used it, is that it is connected to all your bank accounts, and every day it just updates. And so every day you can log in and you just see all stuff happening within QuickBooks. You don't even have to log into your bank. And so you can start, so for small business owners, it's great because you can kind of address things that quickly, and then you don't necessarily need to pay somebody like me to do that for you. Does that make sense? It used to be that the desktop version, you get the statement and then you're going through manually entering everything in and figuring out what every check was written for. And since almost all of it is done with credit cards and debit cards now, there's a lot less check writing. So there's a lot, I think, that a small business owner that I could train them to do to to save even more money. But they don't necessarily need to pay me to do it. If they want to, that's great, but they don't necessarily need to pay me.
I wanted to divert back to Suzanne's question on personal bookkeeping.
Personal bookkeeping?
Yeah, do you offer it?
Well, I was thinking about the Whole Foods versus Safeway, like looking at our personal finances, which you were maybe alluding to, but so would you do that and going and helping people do a whole personal financial picture?
I can. I've never been asked that question before, but sure. I mean,
That was my question.
People need budgets too.
Yeah.
Damn right.
business.
It's really un-American of you, though. Yeah, balancing your budget, that's not really what we are about.
If you
Well,
have
I
a credit
think
card,
these are,
I can help you get budgeted so that you can go talk to Dan
That's
about
right.
your future goals.
That's right.
Yes.
I think we just opened up a new niche for Maria. Yay. Okay, well, so if you have any more questions, go ahead and make a one-to-one with Maria, but thank you so much.